Hi there, my name's Keith and welcome to Keith James Green's Bible Research. Now in the last video I went through chapters 1 and chapters 2 of a book entitled The Blind Watchmaker, and this book was written by Richard Dawkins, who's one of the most prolific exponents of the theory of evolution in the 20th century. Now in chapter 2 and page 37 of his book, he refers to his idea as a hypothesis. And the hypothesis is that all of the complex biological life forms we see today were created by a continuous cycle of random mutation and natural selection over millions of years. And he calls this supposed creative mechanism the Blind Watchmaker. Now in chapter 3, he attempts to make this hypothesis plausible by referencing two computer programs that he designed himself. So tonight, I would like to show you that these computer programs, which he designed to support his idea, actually provides evidence for the idea that he rules out in his book. And that is the alternate idea that all of the complicated biological life forms came about as a result of intelligent design. Now the information I want to present to you tonight, I believe, is based on common sense and also information taken from a book entitled God's Undertaker, which was written by John Lennox, who is a philosopher of science and a mathematician. Now the first computer program that Dawkins talks about was designed to generate a short sentence taken from the works of Shakespeare. And this sentence reads as follows: "Methinks it is like a weasel." Now, before talking about his computer programs, Dawkins, like most other scientists, rules out the possibility that complex biological life forms came about as a result of pure luck or chance. And from what I have read myself, many scientists have ruled out this idea. They do not say that the complicated life forms came about by chance. And Dawkins says in his book, it would be like expecting a monkey repeatedly attempting to produce the complete works of Shakespeare by bashing away at a typewriter ever since the foundation of the earth. So he simply doesn't entertain the idea. He goes on to say, when mathematically the calculated time to stumble just upon one sentence, "Methinks it is like a weasel," Dawkins says would be a million times longer than the age of the universe, let alone the age of the earth. So Dawkins and scientists rule out that it was created by that biological life came about as a result of pure chance. However, Dawkins says, by employing what he calls accumulative selection into his computer program, which means by retaining sequences of letters that most resemble the Shakespearean sentence as part of future attempts, he can reduce that time from not millions and millions and millions of years. He can reduce it, he said, to half an hour. He can produce that sentence, "Methinks it is like a weasel," in just half an hour by employing accumulative selection. Now he demonstrates this, as I said, using his computer, not monkeys. That would involve a lot of bananas. So he doesn't use that method, but a specially designed computer program. Now, the computer program was designed to randomly and repeatedly attempt to produce this sentence: "Me thinks it is like a weasel." However, with the proviso that every time the program generates a series of letters that most resemble the target sentence, that series of letters is retained as part of future attempts, and so the cycle continues until the target sentence is reached. Now, the purpose of the program is to demonstrate the power of accumulative selection in order to make plausible and sell his idea in the book that accumulative natural selection has the power to create the biological life forms we see today. Natural selection being the process by which the environment favors organisms that have a better ability to survive than their peers, as a result of inheriting advantageous random mutations. However, Dawkins himself indirectly reveals that regarding his computer program, the selection was done by the input of human intelligence with the goal of achieving the target sentence. Whereas, he says, natural selection, he says, is not directed by intelligence and has no goal. Therefore, rather than supporting his idea that mindless natural selection created all of the biological life, he actually shows the power of intelligence and supports the idea of intelligent design. In other words, his computer program was able to reduce the time to achieve the target sentence down to half an hour as a result of intelligent design, unlike what Dawkins would claim regarding biological life. He says that was done by unintelligent causes. There was no intelligence involved in that, he says, but rather pure random mutation and natural selection. Now, mathematician and philosopher of science John Lennox, commenting on the Dawkins program on page 172 of his book, says the following: "It is precisely that mechanisms intelligently designed capacity to retain letters in the target phrase once they are obtained and before they have any beneficial effect that makes a selection effect cumulative. There is no cumulative selection effect without the designed mechanism. It is therefore fatally flawed as an argument giving plausibility to the idea that unguided natural processes can generate information. However, Lennox says the argument is illuminating in that it could be said to increase the plausibility of intelligent design." Now, the second computer program that Dawkins talks about in his book was designed to simulate random mutation and natural selection by producing repeated, varying, symmetrical drawings, some of which end up looking like insects and other things that humans have made. However, once again, it is intelligent manipulation of the program that produces the symmetrical appearance. It is intelligence that indirectly selects the drawings for the visual appeal. And it is intelligence that designed the computer program in the first place. Remove intelligence and you end up with complete nonsense or nothing at all. John Lennox expresses it like this in his book: Dawkins' more sophisticated biomorph program, a computer package in which the computer generates certain shapes to be displayed on the screen, which the computer operator can select for their elegance, etc., leading to increasingly complex patterns called biomorphs, similarly involves an intelligently designed filtering principle. Remove the filtering principle, the target and the head monkey, and you end up with gibberish. Once again, rather than support the claimed ability of the Blind Watchmaker, Dawkins' computer program actually supports the idea that biological life was intelligently designed. In other words, Dawkins unintentionally in chapter 3 demonstrate how intelligent design has the explanatory power to account for the existence of the biological complicated systems we find in nature. Well, that briefly sums up chapter 3 of his book. In the next videos I'll be covering more of his chapters in the book entitled The Blind Watchmaker. Until next time, goodbye from Keith James Green's Bible Research.